Okay. It says I'm live on Instagram as well. Once your live stream is public, you'll find it at the top of your feed on Instagram. Okay. So if anyone's watching this, yes, it looks like. Am I live? Let me check. This is the first time I'm using StreamYard to go live on Instagram. And so please bear with me. It looks a little weird right now. I have lights shining in my glasses. And the screen, I'm not sure how it looks, what it looks like, so I'm actually going to go onto the Expat Woman Instagram and see if I am going live or not. This is also streaming on YouTube, but I would really wish that I am live on Instagram. I don't know. Let's hope that I am live because it is on YouTube. So I want to welcome everyone. I have Arlet and Solvega, two of our summit speakers, joining us for this little meet the Expat Women Summit speakers. Our summit starts on March 6th, and it will run till March 8th. It is to celebrate International Women's Day. We have 20 speakers from across the globe joining us, and I am the host and founder of the Expat Women Summit, and I'm the host. I'm not the host. I'm the CEO and founder of the Expat Woman, and I'll talk a little bit more about the summit. But I want to give my two speakers, Arlet and Solvega, a chance to introduce themselves, talk a little bit about where they live, what they do, their expat journeys. Arlet is actually joining us from the airport in the Netherlands, which I think is so cool. And I know Solvega is in the US. So maybe just introduce yourself, what you do, where you live, your expat journey, and also what you will be speaking about at the Expat Women Summit. And I see Daniela has joined us too. Hey, Daniela,
Hello.
welcome, welcome. Yeah, so you
Hi.
Hi. So you just heard my brief introduction and asking all of you to share. So let's go with Arlet, then Solvega, and then Daniela. Okay, thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. Hi, my name is Arlette Chatelain. I am joining you from the Linate airport in Milano and on my way back to the Netherlands because I'm visiting my daughter there. My expert journey started more than 20 years ago when we moved first to Nigeria and then we repatriated. So there's also some repatriation experience there. And then from after the couple of years in the Netherlands, where we are from, we moved to India, then Italy, Germany. So I need to think about where we have been, Germany, and now we are in Sao Paulo. But at the moment, welcoming you from Linate Airport in Milan. So my whole what I will be speaking on about in the summit, it's why it's so important to start making and creating connections before you move. So I will talk to you about why it's important, and I will give you some useful tools and tips how to start doing that when you are in the preparation phase of expatriating, of repair, for moving. So that is what I will be speaking of. I hope to see all of you from the 6th till the 8th at the summit. And yeah, join us. There's a lot of knowledge there with the 20 wonderful, wonderful other speakers. So please join us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Solveiga Jaskunas, and I am originally from Lithuania, and now I'm joining from Washington, D.C. I lived in the States for more than 20 years, and I thought that I never worked with anybody from my country in the States, and this is the first time I am in a summit, Expat Summit, as a speaker, and I have somebody with Lithuanian background, is Daniela, actually. And because even she grew up in Argentina, but she shares with me Lithuanian background and we share the same language, so I'm very excited about it. And yet I will be speaking about my experience as an immigrant in the States, because I see that immigrant expatriate experiences are quite similar. And I hope that everybody who will be joining my presentation will get at least two insights. One insight, how we can help somebody else going through transition. And the second one, how we can help organizations to be more inclusive. And this topic, how organizations can make workplace more inclusive for others, is truly personal for me because I want to make other people's journey easier than mine. Daniela, it's for you.
All right. My name is Daniela Draugalis, and like Solveiga said, I am of Lithuanian heritage. I was born in Argentina to Lithuanian parents, immigrants, Lithuanian war refugees. My cross-cultural life started from the day I was born. I then started a career in international marketing, international business that later took me to the United States after I finished my business studies in Argentina. And I later married my husband, who's also of Lithuanian heritage, but he was born and raised in the United States. So I always say my short story is I'm Lithuanian by heritage, Argentinian by birth, and American by marriage. That's the short story. But because of his job, I've also been an expat, and for more than 10 years. We have lived in China, in Indonesia, repatriated back to the United States, and I currently live in Islamabad, Pakistan. I've been here now for 2.5 years. And during the Expat Women Summit, I will be talking about cultural intelligence. I founded my company, Cultural Pathways, where I guide executives and individuals on how to work more effectively in multicultural environments. And I do that through cultural intelligence. And cultural intelligence is more than just knowing about other cultures. It's really understanding, having a deeper understanding of other cultures and how to adapt our behaviors, our communication, in finding ways to work more effectively in multicultural and diverse environments, which is much needed in today's globalized world. So I hope that our audience finds that interesting and insightful.
That's amazing. All three very diverse uh, backgrounds, diverse topics, diverse experiences, and you are only three of the, and me four of the 20 speakers that will be presenting. So it's such a rich. I would say it's almost like a tapestry. Like when I think of all of you speakers, I feel like I'm embroidering this beautiful tapestry, and all of you are these multicolored, satin threads that are bringing this tapestry to life and bringing joy and insights and empowerment and solutions to our audience. I think we at this point 400 plus guests who have joined us for the summit, and my goal was to get to 1,000. I mean, anything is possible, right? Because our first summit in November last year was we had about 500 people, so hoping to double it. But even if we don't, it's always great to bring in new speakers, hear from all of you. And I know all of you have really busy schedules. Right now, Alet's at the airport getting ready to board a flight. Daniela, it must be pretty late for you in Pakistan at this point, right? Yeah. And then Solvega and I are in the US, so it's a little simpler for us, but I so appreciate it. And my topic is on using personal brand to craft your identity abroad. And I know for many people, personal brand seems like such a cliched, she, maybe even boo woo kind of term. But I had to really build my personal brand when I moved to the US because I was something else in India, and then I came here to the US to study film. Then I met my husband, you. I think both of you, Solvega and Daniela, you all are married American. So my husband's American. He's a second generation Swiss, Italian, French guy. But living in the US, I think if you're born in the US, and he's actually third generation. So you're more American than you're international. So you don't really understand some of the hurdles that an immigrant faces. So in some ways, I was solo in creating my identity because I was always known as Gino's wife. He's a filmmaker. He'd go to parties and Gino's immigrant wife. There was also this rumor that I didn't speak English, that I was one of these mail order brides from India that he brought here. Because I'm one of these.
Oh
I know, right? See, that is a perception. Like, people from some countries, like, you come from India, you don't speak the language. If you're from an Asian country, maybe you're a mail order bride, all these perceptions. And
no.
yeah, yeah. So, because it's funny, now she's a good friend of mine, but she was a friend of my husband, and I met her at Costco, which, for those who don't know, is this huge grocery department store in the US. And she smiled at me, but she never spoke to me. And I thought, how snooty. And then when we became friends later, she said, everyone, there was this someone assumed that I was from didn't speak English, so she didn't want to embarrass me, so she didn't speak to me. For me, it was like, I don't want women to be thought of as this wife or this partner, or even if you're traveling solo, this immigrant, this foreigner, this woman of color from another country. And so I I kind of subconsciously grew my personal brand and started finding my voice here. And what I've noticed about women who move abroad is, because we've already stepped out of our comfort zone and have to face all these challenges and hurdles. And in my case, I've only moved to one country. For many of you, you've moved, multiple countries and have to create that identity every time. But it makes us more resilient. It makes us bolder and braver. I feel I was able to step out of my comfort zone and share my voice and build my personal brand because I moved here. Maybe if I still lived in India, I was doing biotech and working in the food tech, biotech industry in India, I might not have achieved what I have today and got this satisfaction and happiness, which I know all of you have. And that's why I invited all of you to be speakers, because, I found you through different social media platforms. In your case, Daniela Solvega was like, you came so highly recommended, which I'm so glad about. But, all of you have found your identity and your personal brand abroad, and now you're sharing it with your audience. So that's my goal, is to teach in this presentation, is to teach women how they can be seen as more than just the outsider, the foreigner, the expat, the immigrant, the digital nomad, but intentionally create what you want to be known for, what you want people to talk about you when you're not in the room, whether it's online or offline. So with that, maybe we can, because I'm just checking the time, maybe a few minutes more and then we close it, because we have a lot more virtual events coming up. But I'm testing it on Instagram. I have no idea if it's going live on Instagram. That was the whole goal of this. I've made it go live on all the other platforms we have, and yeah, even LinkedIn. But Instagram has somehow not been very kind to me. But very quickly, maybe share one tip for women watching this, either on finding belonging, community, or empowerment abroad. If there's one thing you want to share with them, because we have different audiences watching at different times. And I'll just have you, raise your hand, unmute yourself, and speak instead of calling out each of your names.
Okay, I'll go because I might have to run and get in line.
Don't miss
So
your
the
flight.
no, exactly. So the thing that I think that the biggest tip is to start making the connections in your preparation time, but also not only to others, but also to yourself. And that is, I think, one of the things that I speak of when we start, is to get to know what you want. What are you looking for in friendships? What is important to you? So start also reconnecting to yourself before connecting to others. That's my tip.
I can go. So personal branding is actually quite new for me because even a year ago, like I didn't post things on LinkedIn. I didn't comment. It didn't feel comfortable for me, especially doing video recordings. That was out of the question. So I think that is a big part of my presentation, talking about the impact that mentors make. And then recently I did had conversation with my mentor specifically about a brand. And he asked me to choose 3 words that describes me. And I chose power, vulnerability, hope, and compassion. This is how I lead. And I realized that a lot of my posts reflects that, and also shows an immigrant voice in each one, because I started talking about a lot about immigrant experiences. And I realized that how being a voice for other immigrants helped me to find my own voice. And I became more comfortable sharing about my experiences, because for a long time I compared myself to native speakers. And yes, when you compare yourself to others, you don't look perfect. But when you compare yourself where you've been long time ago, when you see improvement. So yeah, this is where my journey began, and this is how I got noticed by Nina. So probably I'm doing a good job.
My tip for success abroad is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get out of your comfort zone. Expat life is both exhilarating, but also sometimes uncomfortable. But in order to succeed, you have to find excitement in getting out of your comfort zone. Don't stay in your bubble within that expat community. It is important to find the network within like-minded people for support, but also don't be afraid to connect with the local community, with the local culture. Take this opportunity to grow, to learn from this experience, and don't be afraid to um, to cross to the other side.
Beautiful. All three of you shared such powerful tips, really valuable. And I will add, be kind to yourself. It takes time to really, be successful abroad. And success, again, could be anything, could be learning how to take public transport or making a new friend. But, I know I wasn't very kind to myself when I moved here. I just wanted to get a job. I wanted to have these friends. I wanted all this. And if I look back now, I wish I had also focused on being kind, self-care, self-compassion, so that every time you have a little win, you celebrate. But if you have a setback, you don't beat yourself up, but you think about how can I move forward. I just want to end with my favorite quote by Nelson Mandela, which is, I never lose. I either win or I learn. So I want people to think about with the expat journey, you're not losing. All of you shared about finding your purpose, about stepping out of your comfort zone, about sharing your voice. Maybe initially no one's listening to you, maybe people are judging you, but you learn from everything that you do. So just want to leave you with that. The Expat Women's Summit will run from March 6th to March 8th. We have three categories. The first day we focus on finding belonging. The second day we focus on finding community, and the third day we focus on finding empowerment abroad. So it's, you can choose which days you want to watch the presentations. They've all been pre-recorded, just because we have people in so many different time zones, both our speakers and our guests. So we don't want anyone to miss the live sessions, but you get to watch them for 24 hours. They'll be released every day at 8 a.m. PST, which is 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and you'll have to use what is it called, the Time Buddy, or to figure out the time zone. But
Yeah.
you can watch it for 24 hours, right? So yeah, and it's free, it's global, it's virtual. If you want to get the updated ticket where you can get immediate access. In fact, I have all the presentations up, so I'm going to release to all the people who bought their VIP tickets and to you speakers the link to watch the presentations even before the summit goes live. So just VIP tickets and speakers. But you can also upgrade your ticket, and then because there's so many amazing presentations, I've listened to all of them, and you want to watch them again and again. And with the upgraded ticket, you have the all access pass, which gives you also access to the audio recordings. So you listen to them on the podcast, private podcasts, and you get transcripts. And then, of course, with the Expat Power Pack, you get all that, and you get bonuses from our speakers worth thousands of dollars. They're usually paid products, but they're donating them for free. I will share the general link for you to sign up. Our speakers in their communities will share their affiliate links. but it's free, and the link is theexpatwoman.com/summit. It's open to anyone. You do not have to be an expat. I'm really encouraging people who are also not living abroad, who are thinking of moving abroad. Maybe they have a colleague, a partner, a friend, a spouse that lives abroad or is from another country, or they're just interested in learning about, the challenges and the solutions that expats, have to face and have to overcome to lead this successful life abroad, to find belonging, community, and empowerment. Because I really believe if we can really, as a global community, kind of learn from each other's countries, the cultures that we represent, the languages. Remember, people had the perception that I didn't speak English because I came from India, and India was actually a British colony. I grew up speaking English. In fact, I think my English is better than a lot of Americans. So, it's just funny. So, we form these perceptions, and I think that's why there's so much, disharmony in the world. So, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I want to thank these three speakers who made the time to join us, Arlette, Daniela, and Solvega. Definitely follow them if you are on LinkedIn or Facebook, or hopefully it's on Instagram. I have no idea. And we'll see you soon. Arlette, did you want to add something? I saw you unmuted yourself.
No, no, no. I was just wanting to say thank you for giving us this platform.
Thank you for making the time. Thank you, all
Yes.
of you, for making the time. Daniel and Solvega, if you want to say something before I end, go ahead. And Arlette, safe flight. Where you tell us again where you are and where you're heading to?
I'm in Milan now and I'm heading to Amsterdam and then back home to Sao Paulo.
Love it. Safe travels.
Safe
Thank
travels.
you. Bye bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye,
Bye.
Arlette. Well, I just wanted to add the same thing. Naina, you're amazing, and thank you. And I cannot believe, seeing how much work you do behind the scenes is truly inspiring. The communities you create, the impact you make, and the summit is so exciting, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you.
Looking forward to a great summit and celebrating Women's International Day and Women's Month with you and with all the other amazing, talented women in the summit.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, all three of you, so much for your kind words. I just want to shout out to Shana Pete, who joined us live. I don't know, she joined us on LinkedIn. She says, thanks, excited for the summit. This will actually be available for people to watch even after this is done, because that's the beauty of StreamYard. This will stay on forever, as long as the Expat Woman exists on all these platforms. So, and this evening, which evening for me, at 5 p.m. PST, we are doing a LinkedIn audio event. I think Solvega, you're joining. I know Arlette and Daniela, it's maybe not in your time zones, you're busy, but it'll be more opportunities, and we'll be talking about finding a community and empowerment abroad. So I'll share that link as well. But thank you all so much for joining, and see you all in the evening, and see you at the summit. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.